The Chicago Blackhawks put up a phenomenal comeback against the San Jose Sharks, leading to a goal in overtime for what was frankly one of the best wins of the season. Now, here in this video, I'm going to be talking about this game, what all these players did to be able to get a comeback win, amount to this win, as well as a few things that kind of pushed for this, and finally a big prospect update for Frank Nazar. But before I get into all of this, we know that 78% of you guys watching right now are not subscribed to the channel, so if you're looking for a spot to get all your Chicago Blackhawks news, as it happens, you're in the right spot. Make sure to hit the sub button so you can keep up to date with everything Chicago Blackhawks. But like I said, let's get right into this. The Blackhawks just shocked everybody with this game. Now, before we say it, I know this was only the San Jose Sharks, but we're also talking about the Chicago Blackhawks. So you got to take this with a grain of salt, but once again, the Chicago Blackhawks are also on that level, so you can say that this was a really big of a surprise win here. I'll put the box score, obviously, as you guys know, it'll be at the bottom of the screen throughout the whole video. If you don't want to pause here and you just kind of want to watch along, you can read that as the video goes on, but this was a great game, especially from one guy, Ryan Donato, obviously the whole game-winning goal, and what a game for himself, not just this team, but he played very well. And so did many people on this team after this, realization that we can't lose to the San Jose Sharks, even though it will help your draft odds, because realistically, the players don't care about the draft as much as management do. The players are there to win. The players want to win, and it does suck to lose in a losing, I guess you could say, community in this dressing room. You want to be able to win. You want to, be the best you can be to help your team. So this was a win that they wanted themselves. I'm sure it didn't hurt, or it wasn't a big fan of this from the management side of things. But like I said, once again, it's a part of the team. They want to win. They want to be part of a winning culture. And this was, the perfect game to do it. You see as well, Seth Jones, 2 goals once again. He's been pretty good as of late. He hasn't really shown that he's been lacking the stuff he's been lacking in the past while. But, once again, 24 minutes on ice as well. He's been there. He's doing a lot of stuff that, leads to a win, but also, may have contributed to a loss. So, overall, I think it was a good game for him coming out with these 2 goals and being able to secure this win against the Sharks. Now, I'll pull up this the stat chart from the game here. As you can see, a lot of positives from this. Ryan Donato, Tayler Raddysh, Tyler Johnson, Wyatt Kaiser, a very, very good game from him after just being recalled recently. A move that, kind of points into the direction of what the future could look like here without Jared Tenorti, whatever they choose to do on this defensive side of the puck, which we're not going to touch about here, but it's going to be a big conversation for the offseason and how many prospects are going to come in and whatnot. There's a whole load of stuff that is going to come into a factor, and I think Wyatt Kaiser playing well here is securing his odds. If he can continue to play like this, continue to be a big part of this team, and, be that focus on defense, his chances at staying as a Blackhawk for the foreseeable future, I think could be pretty good. But like I said, a very good game for most of these guys here. Jacob Megna, Alex Vlasic, Kevin Korchinkski. You can't really blame these guys here for being at the bottom after the 4 goals that San Jose scored, and mounting the comeback wasn't really on them, but the goals against were. So you can take that with a grain of salt there, those ones, due to them being on the ice for the goals. But the big thing here is the comeback. That's the one thing that we wanted to see, from a fan standpoint, but also knowing that the Sharks are just as bad as the Blackhawks. It does have a pretty big impact on the first overall pick and whatnot. But I think a big part of this win was Luke Richardson. And this came out from Ryan Donato in his post-game interview, simply just talking about what he did between, the intermissions, the horrible start to the game they had. And this is what he had to say. He said Luke Richardson gave a rant that was a little scary after the awful start. Luke is a very kind guy when he needs to be. He can definitely get us going in the right direction. And that's what I like about Luke Richardson. A lot of people are saying that with the Blackhawks, he's very light on them. He's not, super heavy on these players, but, it's a different situation. There's a lot of players here on this NHL team that have not yet played in the NHL. They're still adjusting to this, NHL format, especially at the start of the season and while all these injuries were going on. So it does make sense that Luke Richardson didn't want to push them too hard, didn't want to, try and change everything about their game when they're still adjusting, when they're still learning about an NHL game compared to junior, the minor leagues, AHL, whatnot. So it does make sense that now this team is healthy, now that this team has kind of proved, especially in the game against San Jose, that they want to win, they should win this game, and they definitely could win this game. you got to give props to Luke Richardson for acknowledging that with the team that, you know, this is a horrible start. You can't be losing this bad to a team like the San Jose Sharks. You know, I'm sure a lot of teams say that's about the Blackhawks as well. If the Blackhawks come out after the first period leading or outplaying the other team, but now it's the Blackhawks in the situation. So you could definitely say where Luke Richardson wants to be able to, you know, take this next step, get ready for next season, similar to what he did when he was the assistant coach for Montreal. That's when we actually seen him too in that scenario in the playoffs when he became head coach due to their coach being unavailable. So, you know, it's a good start for Luke Richardson to be able to, you know, get ready for next season, I guess you could say, because this season is definitely a wrap. There's nothing coming out of this season except for some experience and a good draft pick. Realistically, that's all the Blackhawks are here for this season for. Nothing other than that is going to be, you know, thought about to a major extent other than those two. But Luke Richardson, like I said, I'm a very fond coach of him. I do believe he's one of the best coaches in the NHL if he has the right team, if he, you know, was given a good opportunity to have a playoff team. And I think that he still is the right coach for this team. So I'm excited to see what he can do with these younger guys coming up. You know, start to get harder on them, knowing that they know the NHL game now. And it's going to be a very exciting thing to see over these next few seasons. But on those next few seasons, a big part of this is going to be including Frank Nazar. What is the plan for him? What do the Blackhawks have in mind? Now, this was an article that came out from Ben Pope that he put on his Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean. That just says basically this. Nazar tallied 37 points in 37 games this season, but overall, 3 points in his last 10. Not great, but we'll touch on that again later. He'll have a chance to play, a chance to erupt on the biggest stage, though, when Michigan faces Michigan State in the Big Ten Championship Saturday, likely competes in the NCAA tournament after that. It would probably be hyperbolic to say that Nazar's performance over the next few weeks will matter more for the Hawks' long-term future than the actual Hawks' performance in the NHL games for this season. At the least, though, Frank Nazar's performance will probably matter more than any individual Hawks player's performance. And this is, you know, I'm in agreement with this. I completely like the idea of what Nazar is going to be doing here in this tournament. Going to be keeping a good eye on him. Also going to be big implications into the Blackhawks' future. Now, mainly being that what is going to be happening with him relies on what's going to happen with a lot of the other prospects the Blackhawks possess that could be making their debut soon, that could be making their debut next year and whatnot. So it really, I think that watching him over these next few weeks was going to be a big part of, is he ready for this NHL game? Are the Blackhawks ready to, you know, make this slight upwards trajectory going to where they want to be rather than where they are now? So it's going to be something to follow. It's going to be something to keep an eye on. Now, 37 points in 37 games is not bad in NCAA, and having 3 in the last 10 with still being point per game, that's pretty good signs that Nazar seems ready. You know, he's going to be one of the top players on this team, along with, you know, Connor Bedard, Lukas Reichel, who's been looking better lately, Kevin Korchinkski, all of these, like, you know, next generation guys the Blackhawks currently have on their roster. So I'm excited to see what the Blackhawks do with him. You know, do we come over next season? I think it's going to be a chance, yes. I think we're going to definitely see him in preseason. I think it's going to be a lot of what comes out of that as well. So we'll see what happens over these next few NCAA tournaments. I'll be keeping you up to date with all of this, you know, from all of these Blackhawks prospects that are going to be in this tournament, because there's going to be really big implications for this team, as Ben Pope said here. But, you know, like I said, I'll keep you up to date with everything Chicago Blackhawks, but you're going to have to make sure to hit the sub button so you don't miss out on any of this big news. But that's all I got here. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to give the video a like. Make sure to hit the sub button, like I said. You won't miss out on any of the Blackhawks news. But that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.